Right. So we are reconvening the commission meeting, and it is just past 11. And let me describe what will happen for the rest of the meeting. We went over this morning, but we have some different people now, so let's do it again. So essentially, we are at the second interview, the second interview for today, 2 squared, I guess. So Mr. Gutierrez is our second interview today, and he is here for his second interview for the position of executive director. We'll begin that process in just a moment. Basically, following his interview, this is a public meeting, so there will be no interaction with him during his interview. Deborah Gonzalez will ask the questions, and he will respond to those. We will work through that. Then when that is completed, we will ask anyone we will go into executive session, and we will ask anyone who is a member of the public who is not in some way directly connected with the commission as staff or our supporting attorneys, etc. We'll ask any of those people to leave the meeting during the executive session, and we will begin the executive, and Mr. Gutierrez will leave, and we will ask staff to provide any input they would like to the commissioners about the 2 interviews we had this morning, and about anything else related to them. And then we will ask the remaining staff who do not need to be part of the executive session to leave. I'm going to ask our attorneys to stay and Cheryl to stay for the full executive session in case we need consultation or information and discussion. Then we will go into an executive session, at which time we will discuss the candidates that we heard today, and then we will discuss our next piece, which will be probably whether we want to do some reference checks on any particular candidates, and what we would like to do for the next process as we move toward making a decision. So we are getting there, and I appreciate everyone's significant effort. And we're probably just about done having these long meetings, and I appreciate all that. So having said that, Mr. Gutierrez, do you have any questions before we begin your interview that we need
No,
to?
it's the only thing, Commissioner Cook, is that it seems like my camera's off. Is that intentional?
No, your camera should be able to come on.
Okay, let me try again real quick. I've tried several times, and it just says it's
You
actually
just may, yeah,
telling me to unplug my computer. So I'm sorry about that. Let me
okay.
try a couple more times. It took a while
Yeah,
to
yeah,
turn
you
on
had a
the.
hard time coming in, so I suspect
Yeah.
you may not have enough
Oh.
bandwidth or something.
Um, I don't know. It's just, let me try one more time. It's
Okay,
giving me the option to turn it on, and when I
right.
do it, it just says your video isn't working. Try unplugging your camera and plugging it back in.
Oh, yeah. So if your camera is built in, then you can't do that. If your
Right.
camera is external, you certainly could. So
Yeah.
it
It's
sounds like
internal.
that there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
So
My apologies.
we will accept that. Okay.
Okay.
So apologies for that.
My
That's good.
apologies. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's the way life goes.
That
Technical
is technology.
difficulties are
Yeah.
us. Yeah, we've already had a few this morning. We know all about it. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
So if there's no other delay, let's go ahead and begin, Deborah.
Okay. First off, Mr. Gutierrez, thank you so much for your interest in the executive director position for the Human Rights Commission. I'll be asking you a total of 9 questions, and you'll have 3 minutes per question for your answer.
Okay.
If you need me to repeat the question at all, please let me know. I'm going to hold up this 1-minute card here,
Okay.
just because I don't want to completely cut you off when
Mhm.
you're in the middle of saying something. So I'm just going to hold it up. Are you able to see the video of
Yes, I can.
us?
Yes, I can
Okay.
see both of you, the two of you that are
Okay.
on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and get started with the first question.
Okay.
What experiences have you had with hiring a diverse workforce? What kinds of experiences have you had in relating with colleagues whose backgrounds are different than your own? And what did you learn from those experiences?
Here, let me write. I'm writing. I'm taking notes real quick.
Sure.
Hold on just a moment. Uh, What was the last part of the question? I'm sorry, Deborah.
The last part was, what did you learn from those experiences?
Okay.
From relating with colleagues with different backgrounds other than your own and hiring a diverse workforce?
Sure. Yeah, so thank you so much. I would say one of my experiences was working at the University of Montana. I actually had two colleagues that came with me that were part of the process to begin with. And hold on just a moment. My computer is having an issue. Can you hold on just a moment?
Mhm.
Yes. Give me 1 minute. Oh shoot. Hold on just a moment. Hello?
Yes,
Oh, can you still hear me?
yes.
Yeah, my
Yes,
screen just
we
went
can.
blank.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I'm sorry, just a moment. I'm sorry I'm having these issues. Let me try one more thing to see because I don't know if it's disconnecting.
Now I'm not, is he still here?
It looks like he's
Well, he's
on, but
not.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything now. This is frustrating.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
I wonder if we should just have him call in.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Just see if you can reach him.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello?
Um,
Yes, hi.
Hi, is this, may I speak with Eric Gutierrez?
You're on us. Oh, you got him too. Okay. Sorry.
This is his sister, and
Oh, I'm so
let
sorry.
me send him an email because he doesn't
All
right
right.
now. He does not have a cell phone. I mean, he has a phone, but it doesn't have like sort
Oh,
of. He
no,
could do it
it's,
Yeah.
like a
yeah, thank
computer.
you so much. I
So let me
appreciate
send him
it.
an
Thank
email.
you.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. I called the number on his resume. I don't know if there's a different one.
Yeah. Well, there must not be because otherwise he would have put that, I think, I suppose. So, ugh. Ugh. I'm not sure how long we should wait to get this resolved. I don't want to hold staff and commissioners longer than necessary. I am hoping that we can hear something back and get Mr. Gutierrez reconnected to us within the next 5 minutes or so. That may be difficult if we can't directly reach him by phone. So this is a little bit challenging to know quite the best way to.
Yeah, let me see if I can email as well.
I just emailed him the call-in information, so if he's
Okay.
has
Yeah, if he
access
has
to his email,
access.
then he's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's give this just a few minutes because we do have everyone. And again, my apologies. Although I don't think there's anything I could have done, but I am really sorry because I know everybody's schedules are very busy. If we do end up rescheduling this, I am going to be asking him to find a location where he can have good access, and that we test it out.
I just received an email back from him.
Ah.
He said that his computer had turned off and was rebooting. So
Okay, then let's see if
hopefully he should be calling in shortly.
Okay, let's see if we can get going again. That sounds good. I'm not just sure how long to give this. I'm feeling like I'd like to give it about 5 more minutes for him to be able to get his PC connected back to us. It shouldn't, I mean, normally it doesn't take too long to reboot a PC that crashes. If we're not able to do that, what I'm going to be proposing, unless commissioners have a better plan, and I'm certainly open to it, is that we go ahead and move into executive session so that staff can give us feedback on the candidate that they heard this morning. So they don't have to keep holding that feedback, and that we have our some discussion about that candidate and where we are, and then that we reschedule this, but with the proviso that we have to ensure that the connectivity is set up to be good. Because we had some difficulties in the first interview as well, but not nearly this much difficulty. And I realize that people have what they have for technology and bandwidth and everything that is there, but he may need to go to a library or something. We may need to assist in finding something, but I don't want to hold commissioners and staff indefinitely. So unless someone has a different suggestion, that's what we're going to do.
That sounds good, Chair Cook.
Yep. I mean, we want to try to be as we've all been there. We've all had some kind of technical difficulty, but it's kind of difficult when we don't have a backup plan for that. So we'll go. So that's 3 more minutes actually. Okay, I think we're going to call time on this process as we already noted, and I apologize to everyone for that issue, but I think this is the right thing. So this means now that the commission will go into executive session to evaluate the individuals that we have been interviewing, the qualifications of individuals we've been interviewing for the executive director position will be primarily focused on the candidate for whom we had a second interview today, but we can discuss any other candidates as well. And the executive session is a position is, I'm sorry, the executive session is pursuant to RCW 42-30110-1G. We anticipate the executive session will last about 20 minutes, and we will reconvene the public session at approximately 11:45, between 11:45 and 11:50. If we anticipate any great change in that, we will come back and so indicate, but I think we can do that. So the process that we will have for executive session is that we will ask all members of the public who are not in some way associated with, well, what do we want to do? Shall we, do we have time? Do commissioners have time to still conduct an interview if his connectivity is good?
Yes, I have time.
What about the others of you? Commissioner Gamboa and Commissioner Spey?
If that's what the group decides, I'd have to move around some things, but it's not preferred. But I understand we got to get it done, and if this is the day, it's the day. If we can make it work.
Yeah, you know, that's my thing is I've got a conflict too, but it's going to be really hard to get it rescheduled. So I just need to know people's preference here and we'll go accordingly. Commissioner Gamboa, are you able to stay? Did we lose Commissioner Gamboa? Well, if you guys are okay, let's try it, because honestly, it's going to be really hard to get this back on the agenda. So let's see if what his connectivity is like. If it's great, then we will go ahead. If it's not, then we're going to move into the executive session as already indicated. Go ahead and let Mr. Gutierrez in, please. And let's see what we can do.
And admitting him now.
Because this is tough to do, I know, and I'm sorry.
Mr. Gutierrez, can you hear us?
I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this is working. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's what I would like to do then is to go ahead with the executive session, and staff, if you can notify Mr. Gutierrez that we're not going to conduct his interview today. We'll do our best to figure out how to get it. Oh,
Yes. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I wanted to apologize to all of you. My
no,
history,
we
but
don't have time for that. Are you
okay.
Hearing us and seeing
Yes.
us and everything?
Yes, now I have. I'm using my phone instead.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what we needed to have you do in the first place, but it's good. Okay.
Yes,
All righty, then we're really
okay.
a little bit off schedule, but we're
Yes,
going to try to go ahead and do this right now. So thank you to everyone for your great flexibility. So without further ado, Deborah, please ask Mr. Gutierrez the first question.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
What experiences have you had with hiring a diverse workforce? What kinds of experiences have you had in relating with colleagues whose backgrounds are different than your own? And what did you learn from those experiences? And
Sure.
if you need me to
Thank you so
repeat,
much.
just let me know.
No problem. I was going to talk about my experience at the University of Montana. I mentioned before in my previous interview that there were 2 other staff members that actually were part of the team before I arrived. I would say they're a good example, not because I hired them, but because the diversity really came with the diversity of thought. And without going into the politics of the experience, I would just like to say that their viewpoints were different than mine. I was in Montana. It's a very conservative state. It's a very conservative city. So to me, the openness that we had in our meetings and the way that I tried to supervise them and to ensure that the politics never really got the best of us and never really were part of the conversation. We really focused on our mission. And so I think that what I learned from it is that many times you have to put those issues aside and understand that people are different. I think diversity of thought is one of those issues that, for whatever reason, isn't as prominent as, say, racial or sexual orientation or gender, but it all comes into play.
Thank you. Please describe your leadership style. Have you ever had complaints from subordinates regarding your leadership style? If yes, how did you address those concerns?
Sure, and again, I'll use another option from another example from the University of Montana. My leadership style has always been, because I've been both a team member and a leader at the same time, and I've been the number 2 to the number 1. So I've kind of played every role on a team. My leadership style is focused on being open, transparent, and allowing team members to bring the skill sets that they have. I mentioned before that I don't have that hubris that I have to be the number 1 person that leads the conversation, that speaks all the time, that in essence is always the focus of team meetings. And I like to believe that that's how I run. That's how I run my meetings all the time, and that's really what the focus that I have. With respect to complaints, I talked about this in the previous meeting. I had someone that felt that my style was too strategic for her, and what I learned from it is that was an indication that I needed to have a one-on-one conversation with her about what her needs were and what her goals were in the position and how she saw me as a leader. And that actually was very fruitful. And so even though you can have early on differences of opinions or differences in style, and someone may not be your cup of tea or you may not be their cup of tea, at the end of the day, that was in essence an indicator, that tension was an indicator that we needed to really have a much more in-depth conversation about what the true issues were at hand, and that actually worked out well.
Thank you. How would
Sure.
you support creating a culture of organizational learning and continuous improvement here at the Human Rights Commission?
Hold on just a moment. Well, I'm a big fan of training, especially with respect to legal issues and processes, administrative processes. And my sense is that in order to do that, you have to be open to the fact that individuals need training. I know as an attorney, and I worked for Columbia Legal Services, I couldn't do my work without the training. And the training was often and it was varied, and it was part and process of learning how to litigate. Just because you go to law school doesn't mean that you know how to litigate these cases. And it also goes with mentoring. So I would support as much as possible, as much as a budget can allow, to allow team members to access as much training as possible. And whether that's online or external, I know budgets can be an issue, especially with government. So if there can be internal training, if there are people within the organization that have the skill set, for example, someone who's an investigator, who's the lead, and you're getting new, of course, I'm sure you have your own internal training. Those are that's one opportunity to provide the training in the same way. But bottom line is that training is super important, and I would do everything possible to ensure that everyone at every level would have the opportunity to improve themselves and to improve the work that they do.
Thank you. Please describe a
Sure.
time when you led an organization through a period of substantive change. What were the challenges you faced and how did you resolve them?
I mentioned this in the first meeting again with the University of Montana, and I use it because It was a pretty seminal experience. The Department of Justice and the Department of Education, the Office of Civil Rights, had basically imposed these new rules on how to deal with discrimination, specifically sexual assault on campus. And so I walked into a pretty tough situation. It just didn't include the university; it also included the town, the police department. So there were a lot of vested stakeholders. I'm sorry, just hold a second. I'm sorry, could you repeat the second part of the question?
To please
Deborah?
describe any experience you have with handling oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading the next question.
Yeah, sorry.
What
No
were
problem.
the changes you faced and how did you resolve them?
Yeah, the resolve. Okay, thank you. So again, the challenges that I faced were really dealing with a very controversial situation. Many of the faculty, the staff, were not happy about the new rules. They certainly were not happy about the training. So I mean, that was in and of itself, that was a tough situation. And the way that I dealt with it was to be as open as and transparent with the fact that those challenges existed. And the resolve from it is that I continue to learn, I continue to modify both my training, both my presentations to meet the needs of all of the staff that were required to go to the training.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So due to the pandemic, our agency has had several vacant positions and has lost employees without being able to hire new replacements quickly. Please describe any
Mhm.
experience you have with handling recruitment and retention issues, as well as how your experience could be applied to the Human Rights Commission's current situation.
Okay, just a moment. Again, going back to the University of Montana, because part of my job was to actually work on the ADA principles. And so I was with all the different parts of the university, so I was very cognizant of how they were recruiting and how, in essence, how they were retaining. Of course, this was in alignment to the EEO and the ADA principles. So my sense is that in these situations, you want to ensure that people understand. Excuse me, just a moment. I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. This is a little bit tough on me with all these computer issues, and I wasn't prepared this way. Hold on just a moment. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm sorry. Can I pass on that question?
Sure.
Yes,
So the Human Rights Commission receives approximately 700 cases a year. Due to lack of
Mhm.
resources, our agency currently has a large backlog of cases pending assignment. How would you ensure we have adequate resources and address the backlog?
Sure. Well, I think the two key issues in that situation are appropriations and ensuring that the commission has enough money to function and do uh, the basic mission of the agency. And I know that's part and parcel of the commission of itself, but also the staff and ensuring that they understand what those needs are, what the budgetary needs are, and the staffing levels that you need to have. Um, and then with lack of resources in general, I think you have to, especially now in COVID, I think that you have to be creative in how team members work and how people define what their workload is and their work schedules, and be realistic, especially when you have a backload. What are the priorities of those backloads? What are the cases that need needed attention? Which are those that can be conciliated? Issues like that.
Thank you. And
Mm-hmm.
during the pandemic, how have you adapted practices to support and train new and current employees?
What are the trainings you said? I'm sorry.
Yes. So, how have you adapted practices to support and train new and current employees due to the pandemic?
Right. So the issue is that I haven't really worked during the pandemic, our training, and so that's hard to discuss. But I would just say, um, in general, it's again having that training element that is part and parcel of anyone that's onboarding, and ensuring that again there aren't computer glitches like the one that I'm going through currently.
Mhm.
That there aren't right. And that there's access, immediate access, and that there's backup. Like me, unfortunately, I had to be kind of quick on my feet and figure out how to work these things out. And that IT is key. That if there are issues, that someone is working from home, how do they connect? What happens if there isn't connection? And of course, ensuring that those folks are on kind of in the forefront of the organization, because without their services, things like what I'm going through right now wouldn't happen.
Mhm.
Thank you. How
Sure.
do you envision maintaining a successful hybrid work environment?
Well, again, I think the first issue is to ensure that people understand um, what the work policy is to begin with, and if there's buy-in on that policy. I think the secondary issue is again to ensure that that employees are able to work from home, that they have the capacity to do that, and again that there's support for that, whether it's IT and such. And I think just the reality of that this is the new world that we're living in. Again, I thank all of you for being open to the fact that I'm calling from far away. I'm using technology that may not be up to date, with not the most up to date uh, uh, computers and laptops and cell phones. And so, just ensuring that we have the tools in place that people can work from home.
Okay. And last question.
Sure,
What areas of discrimination do you think you have to learn more about, and how would you go about doing that?
sure. I want to say what the Human Rights Commission does in Washington. The contract issue and the discrimination with respect to that is something that I don't have a lot of experience. I have analogous experience in both the policy and the litigation world with different clients. So the way that I would learn that, hopefully, is that there are folks on staff that have the expertise, analogous, I'm sorry, uh, corollary attorneys and staff members that have that experience, and draw on them, and in essence kind of have my own training with them so that I understand not only the law but the policies and how those specific investigations, if they differ from the other ones, that I learn both of those processes.
Thank you. And I'll go ahead and hand it over
Mhm.
to Chair Cook.
Thank you so much, and
Sure.
thank you so much for coming back, Mr. Gutierrez, and working
Yes,
through those technical problems. It's always a
yes,
challenge for sure.
yes.
So basically, our process, as we've suggested before to you, is that we have had these second interviews. You are the final one of those that we have scheduled
Hmm.
this time,
Yes.
and we will be next discussing among the commissioners and staff the merits of our various candidates and how we will be moving forward. We may be asking you for references, or we may be asking you for additional information.
Hmm.
So we will be carrying that forward. Our time frame is fairly close, I think, because we have completed our major interview process, and that has been the thing that has been so incredibly time consuming. So so we do anticipate this all coming to fruition, certainly within the next few weeks. And so
Perfect.
we will keep you posted on that. And is there anything you would like to say in closing
Yes.
to commissioners and staff?
Yes, first I'd like to say my sincerest apologies. I've never had this. I've been doing interviews for a while. It was a little bit disjarring for me. It helped. I lost my focus in many ways just for that very reason. And I would hope that that wouldn't have a totally negative effect on my candidacy. I think if you look at my resume and again, the previous interview that I had where things did, even though we had a glitch, I was still able to work on it. And again, my apologies. And just finally, I have the utmost respect for all the work that the Human Rights Commission does, and especially the employees that were on this call for the sheer reason that I know that without your input and without your service, whether it's at home or whether it's in the office, the Human Rights Commission wouldn't be able to enact its mission in the state of Washington. So I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. And again, my apologies. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. All right, we will ask you to leave, and then we
Yes.
are going to begin. We're going to go back to the plan on the executive session. We will have a brief executive session. The commission will move into executive session to evaluate the qualifications of the applicants that we interviewed today for the executive director position, and this is pursuant to RCW 42301101G. We do anticipate the executive session is going to take about 15 to 20 minutes. And so we plan to return to close out the meeting at approximately 12 noon. We'll be as quick with all of this as we can to accommodate everyone's schedules, but we want to do the work. So now I'm going to ask anyone who is a member of the public who is not part of the commission staff to leave the call, and then we'll pause for just a moment for that while Deborah makes sure that we don't have anyone with us that we cannot keep. And then if you are part of the staff and you do have comments that you'd like to make to us, we would like to hear those at this time.
And Celine, if you could stop the recording.
Oh, yes,
And it
please.
looks like